let me explain right now what we're about to do, okay? You see, with all of my trainings and courses, I do everything. Sometimes people outsource, the creation of guides like this, and they'll hire someone else to do it. I think it's really important for myself to go through the motions so that I know that it's a really good product. And so that's why I do everything. So with this guide right here, over the course of months, I set up alerts. I kept a pulse on some of the top influencers out there, and I put together this guide of the most viral headlines that I found, which generated anywhere from 1 million to 250 million views, these headlines right here. So I actually, over the course of months, anytime I saw a viral video and the headline that really worked, I started to add it to this guide. And it took me a lot of time, and then I went through and I actually wrote down the examples. So the original headline is at the top, is first, and then the example underneath it, I just tried to take that headline formula and spin it and apply it to something else. And so I came up with a bunch of random ideas. But over the last, let's say month or two since I created this, I found myself actually really using this headlines guide. At first I thought, oh, this would be a cool resource. People will get some inspiration from it, but literally before every single video that I post, I'm referencing this guide. And as I was going through the motions of creating those random examples for the guide, I found my mind racing with not just cool headline ideas, but with actual viral video concepts that I was just coming up with left and right, of concepts that apply to my videos. And if you watch my content, I speak about inspiration and motivation and acts of kindness, and it's a generally feel-good content. And so I found tons of ways to apply these headlines to what I do and to actually spark video concepts. And I think that when people are first starting, that's oftentimes the hardest part. How do you know what to make the video about? And so before we get into this, understand this, right? I'm going to be talking out loud. I'm going to be brainstorming out loud. This is essentially what I do when I come up with my video concepts. And, there might be some crazy ideas I throw out there. There might be some things that, sound silly or foolish, but I want you to understand this, and you might want to write this down because this will help you later on when you're going through this process. You never know how viral a video is going to go. And you might want to write that down. You never know how viral a video is going to go. And this isn't something that just I believe in. All my influencer friends, some of them who have millions of fans and who are the most popular influencers on the internet, agree with this. A lot of times, the videos that you think are the most viral, it's the best concept, it's the best thing you've ever done, you post it and it's a dud. People don't share it as much, people aren't as receptive, and sometimes the videos that you think are not up to par, that you might not even consider posting. I've had videos like this where I said, you know what, I don't even know if this is good enough to post. Guess what? Sometimes those videos are the most viral. So you never know. Of course, you can guarantee virality, right? It's a calculated process. I can guarantee anyone a particular number of views, okay? I have distribution strategies and channels to do that, but we don't know how viral it's going to go. What it does beyond that particular amount, who knows? And the only way to know is to actually post the video. And so that's why when I go through the motions here, some of these concepts or ideas I come up with might sound silly, and I'll probably agree with you. But unless we actually film that video and edit it and post it, we don't know how viral it's going to get. So what I did right now, okay, in this hat right here, I have about 100 of the most popular passions and also professions in the world. I cut them all up. I put them on, these little pieces of paper, and I just got the list off Google. It's pretty simple. But at random, what I'm going to do is pick a profession out of the hat or a passion. I'm going to use the viral headlines guide, and I'm going to talk out loud and try to actually create some viral video concepts on the spot. And this would be a lot easier if I was just using what I know, which is motivation and inspiration, but I wanted to make this more about you. And so that's why I tried to pick some popular passions here, because hopefully these are passions and ideas of concepts that you might actually be putting out there. So let's pick the first one now, and you'll kind of see how this process works, okay? All right, let's see what we got. Basketball. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that. We have basketball. Now listen, I'm not a huge sports guy. I do a lot of extreme sports, snowboarding, wakeboarding, things like that. So I don't even know a ton about basketball. I haven't played basketball since I was in like 7th grade. But we're gonna kind of go through here some of these headlines and think about a cool thing to do. This one kind of right off the bat. What we've got wrong about happiness. Okay, so let's take that for example. What we've got wrong about happiness. How would I spin this into a viral video concept for basketball? So that was the headline. That video got millions and millions of views. What about what you've got wrong about your jump shot, for example? Okay, so think about this. Right? And I'll try to apply a lot of the strategies I showed you in Viral Secrets. So let's make a couple-minute tutorial video, what you've got wrong about your jump shot, right? Let's set the hook for that video with this. What if you took a GoPro, perhaps, you mounted it on the rim of a basketball hoop, okay? All of a sudden, the intro to that video is you taking a basketball, throwing it at the rim, and you intentionally hit the camera, and the camera actually falls off of the rim, and it's looking up at the sky. Okay, so that is the first 3 seconds of your video to get people's attention. It's this basketball flying at the viewer, right? And all of a sudden it hits the camera falls down, and it's looking up at the sky, implying that, you know, it's something went wrong, right? Like an accident happened, okay? Then you go through, you say, hey, I'm so-and-so, Division I basketball player. Listen, I've done, you know, over 100,000 jump shots in my life, and I found that there are a lot of things that are wrong with the jump shot. So I wanted to share the 3 biggest things you have wrong with your jump shot right now. And you go ahead, you take a bunch of shots, right? And with each shot, you know, you're missing them at first. You're showing the wrong way to do it. Then, of course, you do the after. You show those corrections. And of course, you're draining all the shots. You know, here's 3 tips I wanted you to have. I know they're going to make a real difference for you. Now listen, right, just spitballing this, that's how I would set the hook. That's how I'd kind of capture people's attention. I'd have a basketball flying at their face. I would then show them, you know, the right way, the wrong way to do it. Bunch of cool action shots. You want to make the video very punchy, very exciting. And, you know, to a degree, that would go pretty viral. But one of the things I don't like about it necessarily, in terms of making this a mega viral success, and again, I'm just talking out loud here, is this. Unless you're a basketball player, that video doesn't apply to you. It's a how-to video. So you might go on and you might get 100,000 views from some really passionate basketball players, but how do you take this concept or this topic of basketball and make it so mainstream? And without even referencing a headline, here's what I would do, right? I would take a clip of Kobe Bryant talking about why he's so driven, how he's the best, because Kobe Bryant's an animal when it comes to work ethic. And if you made an actual inspirational video about Kobe Bryant and you picked one of these other headlines, which I'm not going to do right now for sake of time, but that has the potential of going way more viral, because if it's inspirational enough, it can reach anyone, right? It's a lot more mainstream. And that's one of the things that I talk about is, you know, making sure that you're hooking the universe, that you're getting everyone's attention. And a celebrity like Kobe Bryant talking about concepts that can apply to anyone would likely go a lot more viral than that, because it's so niche. So just a couple things to keep in mind. So there's our first example, kind of random, but you can hear me at least just think out loud and Some of these ideas will be good, some of them won't. Dropping a couple of these professions here, no big deal. Okay, philanthropy. This is an easy one. This is basically what I talk about. You know, I went through this process where my company didn't work out. I had this business that failed. I was going through a tough time. I read a lot of books and, you know, tried to figure out what went wrong. And the secret to living is giving is a quote that stood out from Tony Robbins. So I actually spent about 8 months walking the streets of New York City, helping people who are homeless and terminally ill and, you know, perhaps suicidal, and just trying to inspire people and make videos about that to hopefully encourage others to make the world a better place and to kind of maybe slow down, stop thinking about rushing to that next meeting and start helping people. So, you know, I mean, some of these headlines in this guide are mine, and they're videos that apply to philanthropy that have gotten millions of views. But let's see if we can come up with a new one. This is good. I like this one. Life lessons only learned through travel is the real headline. 7 life lessons only learned through travel. I would spin that and I would say 7 life lessons only learned by helping others. And I would probably make a video with all these different clips of people doing nice things for other people, not necessarily me. You know, someone helping a person across the street, or someone, you know, tipping a barista and actually taking the time to say, how was your day, right? Things that we take for granted this day and age when everyone's on their phone and ignoring others. And I would come up with 7 really solid lessons that you can only learn from being selfless. And that's what that video would be about. So that's how I would take, you know, philanthropy and spin this into a viral video concept. And believe me, feel-good content, the world needs more of it right now. And people love these types of videos. And I didn't realize that at first. I was just naturally drawn to this path of making videos to brighten people's days. But it works. I mean, it's some of the most viral content on the internet. So with that, let's see if I can maybe dive a little deeper. Again, this is hard to kind of spitball, you know, what those 7 lessons would be. I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually come up with some of these lessons on the spot, but some of the things that I've learned from helping others is that by focusing on other people, you know, you remove yourself from the equation, right? I found myself through gratitude, you know, through caring about others, not as fearful about my own life. You know, I felt like my purpose was broadened and increased, and that because I was helping more people, you know, and going out there and trying to make an impact, I felt like it was much more meaningful, and I was much happier. And am much happier doing these things and trying to give back and help out. So, you know, one of the lessons that I learned is that you get out of your own head when you're helping others, and you're generally just more happy, more grateful, more excited to get up every day. And so I would come up with a bunch of lessons like that. I would come up with a really strong hook in the first 3 seconds to kind of pull people in, and maybe I would even stress the negative, you know. Do you ever feel like you don't have a purpose in life? Do you ever feel like it's just a drag to get out of bed every morning? Like you're just struggling, you want to hit that snooze button, you're struggling to get up because you have nothing pulling you. You don't have anything to look forward to. Well, guess what? I spent the last 8 months just trying to help other people and trying to do little things to give back. And here are 7 lessons that I found. So you get the idea, right? Here's how I would kind of take this random concept and start to formulate it into a viral video. And again, just using the principles that you already have, the strategies right out of Viral Secrets, okay? So we'll do a couple more, and then I think, you know, you'll get the idea. Hopefully I get one of these that applies to you, and these are pretty broad categories. We got lawyer, okay? Let's go to the headlines guide, see what we can do here. lawyer. With a lawyer, I would probably try to look for something extreme that gets people's attention. It's a tough one so far. We'll find something. How to, yeah, I mean, how-to headlines are great. So this original headline is how to make the ultimate chocolate cake. How-to headlines for viral videos are incredible. So now, if I put my shoes, I'm a lawyer, right? What's something that I can teach someone? And again, the more kind of extreme or obscure, the more viral it will most likely be. And of course, keeping on brand, right? I'm not telling you to like do something crazy, you know, just to go viral. It's not necessary. You can still stay on brand and do your thing without being, you know, over the top. So if you're a lawyer and you're typically professional, you don't have to do something extreme. But I would say this, how to beat the speeding ticket, right? Or how to like get out of a speeding ticket, something that a ton of people have to deal with. And if you're an actual lawyer and you have, you know, a couple really cool tips, I think that would make a great video. So let's do this, right? Here's your hook. You have an actual police interaction, an interaction of you getting pulled over as the lawyer. And there are a bunch of ways you can do this. You can actually hire an actor with a police car. A lot of people do this for videos here in Hollywood. Or you can just take stock footage of someone getting pulled over. And that captures people's attention. Anytime there's cops and headlights, we're trained to slow the car down and we're trained to like stop what we're doing. So you use this in your video, I think that would really work. So then all of a sudden you're the lawyer, you're sitting there, you go into the dialogue of the video. Listen, speeding tickets can cost you upwards of $1,000. I'm a lawyer, I've been doing this for X amount of years, I've represented this person. You build your credibility in the beginning of that video so people take you seriously. I'm gonna show you 3 things you can do right now to beat your next speeding ticket and, you know, make sure that you get off scot-free and whatever. And because speeding tickets are something that so many people have to deal with, this is something where you take a profession of law, which you might think, oh, that's too niche, or how could a lawyer go viral? And all of a sudden, boom, you just blow it up and you make it mainstream. You make it something that applies to everyone. And so then you go into what are those 3 things? I don't know what they are. I'm not a legal professional, but you explain those results. So that's what I would do there. And again, just one random concept. All right, sorry, trying not to look here. I do want to actually make this random because it's more challenging that way. Golf. Okay, we got golf. So kind of cool. This is my newest passion. So interesting that that we're grabbing that one. I am still learning about golf. I'm pretty terrible right now, but I've been trying to play a lot. So golf. If I actually knew what I was doing, which I don't, I'm about 3 months into playing golf. Let me try to come up with a concept if I were to make a video on it, or if you're a golfer, how you might make a video on it and make it mainstream and make it viral. Well, first of all, before I even look at the headlines, I'll tell you this. Golfers are an incredibly passionate group of people. It's a passionate audience. If you're an internet marketer, a lot of golf products do very, very well because golfers have the money and they're willing to spend it to step up their game. So that's just a little side note. But also I will say this before we get into the headlines. I see a lot of videos of golf accidents. You know, it might not be perfectly on brand for you if you're a golf coach, but golf accidents go crazy viral. You know, videos like people say the headline, "Play it where it lies," and there's a video of a guy literally taking his shot and taking his swing while standing in a sprinkler or standing in a lake. I've literally seen videos, you know, on Facebook. and on social media of golfers like taking off their pants and playing in their boxers. They're like up to their thighs in water because the ball landed in the middle of the lake or towards the edge of the lake, and they have to actually get wet to hit it. Those videos are just funny and goofy and go crazy viral. So just sort of spitballing and telling you some things right now. People crashing the golf cart, man, those videos go viral. So using those, I mean, those are just some concepts right there without even looking at the headlines yet. So, I mean, here's a quick one, right? Golf goals versus reality. So many golfers, especially when they're starting, when they're like me, they struggle. Like, it's so hard to hit that darn ball and the thing's not even moving, right? So if you did a whole video, golf goals versus reality, and it's, you know, Tiger Woods, or it's someone just hitting like the most perfect shot, and then it's you just shanking it into the woods, or it's you just totally missing the ball altogether. Video like that could go pretty viral, right? And the reason I don't think it's so an insane perfect idea is because not everyone's a golfer. Something like someone crashing a golf cart, that's more viral. That can apply to anyone. Anyone can watch that and say, oh my gosh, like this is just crazy. So that's one. I'll see if I can come up with something else and maybe apply it to that idea. So Street Magic Gone Wrong is the original headline. You could just say like golf outing gone wrong, and that headline would perfectly apply to the concept of someone just wiping out in a golf cart and the cart totally crashing. So something right there for you. Let's do a couple more and then we'll kind of wrap it up. But I think I just wanted you to not only give you hopefully some ideas that you can use, but I wanted to hopefully just help let you into my head of this process as I just go through it, because this is literally what I do. You know, I look at the guide. I know that what I do is inspiration and motivation. I go through, I think, okay, how can I use this headline? How can I apply that to what I do? How can I make a video around this? And I found myself just coming up with all these viral content ideas after I created that guide. And so that's how I want you to use it as well. We have hairdresser. And this is an interesting one because I've actually, so random, right? But it's crazy how these things work. I've seen a ton of videos on Facebook go viral of barbers. And it's so weird how that, like, it just seems to me like, how is that interesting? But there are some barbers right now with hundreds of thousands of fans getting tens of millions of views. And they literally they shoot these videos on a cell phone most of the time. And it's basically a time lapse of them actually doing someone's cut. And they'll show the fade, and then they'll show them waxing the beard. And sometimes they take out like the eyebrow threaders with the thread, and they do the guy's eyebrows. And for whatever reason, people are sharing these videos like crazy. And it's like just a regular barber shop, and you got a guy whose business blows up because all of a sudden he goes viral on social media, and now people are like, oh wow, I saw you on Facebook and whatnot. So pretty crazy. So how would I maybe make how would I ever make a video about this or apply one of these headlines and come up with this concept? Well, I mean, here's a given, right? This headline, the most satisfying shave. So, you could literally have the hairdresser or barber show the actual shaving process and how it's satisfying. That video itself, that's the original headline, got millions and millions of views. The most satisfying shave, that's all they did, and they showed the shave itself. And those videos, that headline has been going like crazy right now. The most satisfying this, the most satisfying that. People are obsessed with this headline for some reason. So if we were going to spin it, because I do want to come up with a creative new concept as a part of this, I would say, the most satisfying haircut, just to pick something new. And I would show like a really intricate haircut where the hairdresser is doing like this crazy massage technique on your scalp when they're washing your hair, and then they're, you know, just showing that whole process. And I mean, this one, it doesn't even need a lot of you know, brainstorming around it. These videos just work. They just work. The camera actually cut out there because I've been talking for so long, but I think you get the idea on that one. Let's do a couple more and then we'll kind of wrap this up. But I really want you to understand this whole brainstorming process and how it works, because this is literally what I do when I create any video, and this is what I have to think about. You know, how can I make this idea bigger and better? How can I capture people's attention in the first couple seconds? What can I do to make this, you know, maybe more mainstream or more extreme to really get people excited and get people to talk about it and get people to want to click that share button? So these are the things I think about, all right? We have cars, okay, cars. So more of a passion than a profession. So let's kind of dive in here and see what we can do. All right, I'll give you a couple ones that easily come right off the bat. The original headline, Parkour Girl has crazy skills. Okay, I would say race car driver or just driver has crazy skills. And you've probably seen those, I think they pronounce it Gymkhana videos, where it's this driver just drifting and spinning the tires' wheels and going around like, let's say, a cone, or maybe the driver's going like through a city and he's going around a trash can and, you know, burning out the tires and doing all these cool things. That is a mainstream car video that even if you're not a car fanatic, it's impressive. And people who are skillful, who, you know, are showing something interesting that's taken years to perfect, really interesting stuff. So I would have the camera set up and I would have the back tire literally almost hit the camera as all this smoke is coming out. And in the first 3 seconds, that's enough to catch people's attention, and then you go into the video itself. And it literally could be a video to music with no words of all these crazy driving skills and this driver who's just unbelievable at what they do. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, I'm not that driver. I don't know how to do that. You know, my page is just going to be about cars in general. Well, this might not be your very first video concept that you do, but as you grow and grow, once you get some credibility, it's very easy just to reach out to someone who is insane at driving and they do know what they're doing and say, hey, I have this channel. I've gotten X amount of views in the last couple months. Is there a way we can find half a day to just shoot some really cool things? I'd love to feature you. And people say yes all the time. You wouldn't believe the amount of people I've been able to reach with opportunities like that, because everyone wants more exposure. So something really cool that you could do there, just showing some really insane driving skills. Let's see if I can come up with something else. Yeah, let's just move on. I'll try to get through a couple more just for variety purposes. But I just wanted to see if I had any other things that sparked real quick. Okay, so we got driver. That's we already did the car one. That's probably not necessary. But one thing that comes to mind from that is, you know, is Uber drivers, right? You might have seen videos go viral of Uber drivers. There are literally a couple Uber influencers out there who make videos while they're driving around, just talking to people or interviewing people, and it's almost like Cash Cab or like a reality show. So literally, like, no matter what, and hopefully this exercise explains this, no matter what you do, what you're passionate about, you can find ways to make viral concepts for it. And I think that's another thing that this should stress to you. There are endless opportunities. In this guide right here of 100 headlines, right? The most viral headlines. Guess what? There are literally millions of variations of different video concepts and videos that you can make just in this guide right here. So I really just hope that this helps expand your mind, help you think a little bigger, and help you understand the thought process. Okay, gosh, we're getting a lot of car ones. This is mechanic. It could be another type of mechanic, but let's just skip that one. Too many car ones. So, I mean, knowing that though, if you are interested in cars, clearly some of the most exciting professions and most popular passions have to do with cars. Okay, real estate. This is a cool one. There are, believe me, there are real estate influencers out there who are killing it. Grant Cardone is one who comes to mind. Got his start in real estate. He puts out a ton of content right now on social media that gets millions of views. You know, and there are a bunch of others, ton of examples in real estate. Okay, so how can you make a viral concept with this? Okay, here's one. This one, not your typical homeless makeover. And I remember this video. This is my buddy Mayor K, someone I've gotten to know. And he took someone who was homeless on the streets and actually just, you know, got him cleaned up, all this stuff, all the way to actually getting him a job offer, which was insane. Really beautiful video. So you can do not your typical home makeover and just come up with a crazy way to redo a home. Maybe the way that you're doing the demolition on the home is kind of over the top. So instead of using, let's say, a hammer to kind of take the house down, maybe you take like a cinder block and you throw it through the walls, and you're showing all these shots of the house first getting totally destroyed. That would capture people's attention right off the bat, and then you show the after of this beautiful home. But I'm having trouble because we're doing this in the moment, but something that would fit the not your typical. You know, what's something really weird, or how can you do a standard home makeover with a twist? So I don't have that perfect answer right here on this video, but you can kind of see where we're going there. What else with real estate though? One thing that comes to mind, I can't find the headlines on it, but I know they're in here. Okay, here's the original headline. This one could work. Can you afford this pig? Is the original headline. Can you afford this house? Would be a good way to do it. Now, a video of just an insane house if you're a real estate agent and you focus on luxury homes, or even if you don't, even if you're in real estate and you typically work in like the $100,000 to $500,000 price point, guess what? For one video, gain access through one of the other people at your real estate agency, gain access to like a $20 million home. And the video is, can you afford this home? And you have these incredible drone shots of this house to capture people's attention. And you do a walkthrough and you show them the cool wine cellar, and you show them the heated swimming pool inside the house. You show them the sauna that's in the house. You show them all these crazy features to this home. People are fascinated with this wealthy lifestyle. It just works on the internet. And when it's almost a challenge, like, can you afford this home? That's going to bring people in. They're going to be like, well, I don't know. Like, what is this home all about? So if you're in real estate, there are a ton of things you can do. I mean, you can do real estate sales calls and, you know, do a live sales call that gets people's attention. Grant Cardone did something like that. I think it's its most popular video right now. That he has, and it's a live sales call, and I think it's a real estate call or a general sales call. So just some ideas there. I hope it helps you. I'm telling you, this guide right here is gold. I thought it was cool when I first made it. I really use this thing, and if you aren't using it yet, you should be. So hopefully this exercise and this little special bonus helps get you thinking, because content and the creative concepts is usually the hardest idea for some people. But it doesn't have to be. You know, we came up with half a dozen or more ideas in this video, and these aren't even industries that I'm familiar with. So imagine with you doing this with something that you are passionate about, that you do know a lot about, it will really make a huge difference. So again, I really hope that helps you. Keep going in this process, keep moving forward, and if there's anything we can do to help, let me know. See you soon.